Oh, yes, my friends. Welcome. Greetings, Grasshoppers. This is the bot signal. Today, we are going to talk about the do's and the don'ts of writing engaging quizzes. Why? People love to put those quizzes out there. We all want to be BuzzFeed, but there are certain things that we must avoid, and there are certain things we must do. My name is RJREDDEN. If you don't know me, excuse me, entrepreneurs hire me to skyrocket their engagement because most have insane amounts of trouble getting traction online. Many feel like they're shouting into a black hole, and so many are just a carbon copy of everybody else. So I create epic engagement experiences that get people to click that button, connect with you, and convert like crazy. Bottom line, I am on a mission to get 1 million people to join me in the engagement marketing revolution. And today we're going to start with you. And we're going to start with those quizzes. So, my friends, quizzes. Yes. A time-tested way to get more people looking at you in your tribe, to get more eyeballs, something that people love to do, by the way. They love to take a quiz, especially if they're going to find out something about themselves. They love it. They love it. See BuzzFeed for more details. I swear to you, I have taken more quizzes in my life that are just ridiculous. Which Harry Potter house are you? It's a thing, man. It's a thing that people love. It's a thing that people use to kind of momentarily distract themselves sometimes. The quizzes that most of my clients write are a little bit more serious than that. But I want to tell you some do's and don'ts today because it's really, really important. Writing quizzes is not easy. It's generally not very easy because the first thing that we need to do is decide what the purpose of that quiz is. What is the purpose of that thing? Why are you creating it? Who are you creating it for? How do you want them to feel? Most people, when they're writing a quiz, especially for the first time, they don't think about that. They think about, okay, what do I want to know? Here's the problem. And here's the mistake that people make when they think about themselves first when they're writing these quizzes. The problem is that you'll get way too many questions. Yep. Way too many questions. So many questions that people just drop off after number 5. If the purpose of your quiz is, these are the things that I need to know, might want you to take a step back. Because really at that point, when somebody is just meeting you, what is essential for you to know? What is essential for you to know? You don't have to know everything about a human being in order to get them interested in walking down a road with you. And that's really, if you're using quizzes as a way to get brand new eyeballs, meet some more folks, make some more connections, you are going to want to keep it short and sweet. You absolutely want to keep it short and sweet. You do not want to get into too many question zone. Too many question zone. It's going to be like they're going to get to 4 or 5 and they're going to run into their first open-ended one and they're going to be like, how long is this going to take me? So, second don't of the day on the quizzes, just put a progress bar in there, please. Do not miss telling them how many questions there are. Do not miss telling them how far they are through the process. It is a legendary mistake. It is a legendary mistake. It's nothing different than, in the olden days when people used to poll you through calling you on the phone, looking at you, Gallup. In the olden days, it'd be like, hey, you want to take a quick survey for me? Sure. I one time ended up on a one of those little quick surveys that was for the phone company, and I had been on for like 15 minutes, and I said to the surveyor, about how far are we? And she said, well, we've got about 25 questions left. And I said, oh my God, the cat's having a heart attack. I've got to go. There is no way. And another don't. Please do not say quick survey when you mean it's going to be a while. Okay. A lot of people lure people into these things by saying quick 30 seconds, something like that. If it's really going to take the average person's 30 seconds, go ahead, do it. Just be transparent, tell the truth. Don't think of yourself first. Think of your people first. Think about that experience that you want them to have. How do you want them to feel? What do you want them to know? Do you want to be able to give them an opportunity to ask questions back? That's rare. But you can absolutely do that I've written a lot of quizzes for clients. Some of them take you down a road into Wonderland, and you've kind of got this, some of them are so fun. Some of them can be pretty boring too. Engaging does not equal boring. I need to write that math equation out and put it up behind me. Engaging, not boring. Because if you bore people, if you follow the same pattern that everybody else follows all the time, and if they can start to predict where you're going next, especially if they think an offer for a sell is coming next that they're not quite ready for, once again, please do not do this in your quizzes. Please do not do this in your quizzes. Don't make it boring. Don't make it predictable. It can be predictable to some extent, but copying off somebody else's quiz, that isn't going to work for you. If it's a long quiz, tell them how long it's going to be. If it's a long quiz, consider delivering it in parts. Consider every time they finish 5 or 6 questions, or maybe that's part 2 of 4, whatever it is, consider giving them a little award every time they finish something. They finish a level of it. Because what you're going to run into is no matter what, no matter how engaging you make this thing, no matter how fun, there are times when they're just going to they're going to look at something and go, okay, well, if that's all there is, if I haven't gotten any value yet, I'm out. So deliver value. What about this? Your quiz is 40 questions long. It's a long quiz, darlings. It's a long quiz. But maybe it's something like a personality test. My friend Coach Jenny has a quiz that you can take and find out the particular style of your inner critic. And that's a valuable thing. It's a valuable thing to know, because then you can kind of combat that inner critic. And she wasn't my client at the time, but I kind of ran through a quiz and advised and different stuff. And when you say at the beginning, this is the value you're going to get out of it, boom, that's their decision point, right? That's their, okay, do I want to do this or not? That's also where you say, and it's going to take this many minutes, and it takes the average person this many minutes. Something like that. Do tell them, just be transparent about it. If your quiz has enough value, if they're able to see a result at the end that gives them value, they don't mind as much on the time, as long as you're upfront about it. Now, of course, the longer the thing is, the less people are going to take it. So keep in mind rule number 1, put yourself in their shoes. What do you actually need to know? and what kind of experience they're having. Always good to remember, really, on any engagement marketing you do. A lot of these quizzes I've put into bots, which is really a super fun way to reward people and to give them a little something for doing this thing, and also to allow them to go along their own path if they want to. Many of us have done those surveys on, SurveyMonkey or any one of those forum. That's a good one, actually. Many of us have designed quizzes on those. But if you do that quiz inside a chatbot, it's so much easier to reward people. It's so much easier to let them go down their own path. Many of those SurveyMonkey type form, they have something called skip logic, which means if they answer a question this way, you can skip these questions because they don't apply and move on to the next section or whatever, right? Think of doing a quiz in a bot as like jump logic on absolute steroids, because you can do skip logic, you can do randomization, you can of course add up all of the stuff in a row so that you can get a result. You can send them a different email depending on their results. You can display a different video according to results. There's so many things that you can do, and you can really, really be creative with the process. If people are immersed in the process, if people are feeling good, they're much more likely to get to the end. Much more likely to get to the end. If at any time they feel like, gosh, I am just sitting through this, I probably could be actually getting something done, you've lost them. You've lost them. So always weigh the number of questions with what you really need. What is the purpose of this thing? And decide your purpose before you write your quiz. Do this thing. If you don't do that, then the purpose won't be absolutely clear to you. And then you run the dangers of too many questions. Hey, Ed Weinberg, good to see you, my friend. You run the dangers of too many questions. You run the dangers of asking the wrong questions. You run the danger of boring people or becoming predictable. One of the things you can also do with quizzes on bots is you can start delivering your freebies in there. So what I mean by this is, say you've got a long quiz, you've got a longer one, right? You've got, a lot of stuff going on. Maybe it's one of those personality quizzes like Gallup has, or maybe it's one of those, figure out your internet naysayer like Coach Jenny has. Maybe it's one of those that has kind of a larger amount of questions. If one option when you're in a bot, you just split that bad boy up into several stages, if you will. And I know you would. You split it up into several stages, and at the end of every stage, why don't you deliver them a little gift, a little freebie? 10 ways to digital world domination. 10 ways to real estate world domination. I threw that in there for you, Ed. Why not? Why not? You're seeking to give that stuff away anyway. Freebies typically are tested for value. Does this bring value to people? Do people like this thing? Has it led to people becoming clients in the past? All of that stuff, right? So if you know those freebies are good, why don't you deliver them as people finish a stage? That way they feel like they're getting value, they're accomplishing something. Give them that sense of accomplishment. Do this thing, and more people will finish your quizzes, I promise. So today is a little bit of a short show because I've got something going on in another channel. I'm going to go rejoin that. But before I do, let's sum up.
I think I got it, but just in case, tell me the whole thing again. I wasn't listening.
Okay. So the whole thing again is do your purpose first. Secondly, is your purpose you oriented or is it them oriented? You oriented is absolutely fine as long as you are keeping your audience in mind. What do they want? What do they value? How do you want them to feel as they're going through this? This is what you need. This is what you want. You want them to have fun. If they have fun, they'll remember you as a fun person. They'll interact with you again. Woohoo! Was that a disembodied voice? It was. I have many disembodied voices, actually. I do this one quite a bit. Engage. My favorite captain. Anyway, yeah, I love sound effects, Nether Noose. Just so you know. So back to the summation. Make sure that you warn them. Make sure that you tell them up front, this is exactly the value that you're going to get out of this. And this is about the amount of time people spend. You in? Tell them how many questions or tell them how much time they're going to spend. And make sure that they know the value of going through that thing. If your quiz is long, and some of them just are, see how you could separate it into stages. Maybe they don't have to take it all at once. Maybe they could take it over several days and get something out of each day. It's up to you, of course, but you can be, if you're using a bot for this, you can be as creative as you want to. And consider giving away those freebies, those little things that you've already created, my friends. They're already created. They're already valuable. They're just sitting there. Why not add those things in? Consider giving freebies at the end of stages if it is a really long quiz. Split it into little stages. Every 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 questions, boop. Hey, here's a little something I wrote. This is the value you'll get out of it. I'm also sending it to you by email. Let's go. You've only got 9 more questions. Something like that. Something like that. Listen, the golden rule of engagement marketing is so non-difficult, it's ridiculous. I want you to treat people in your marketing the way you wish to be treated. I wish to feel special and not like a number. I wish to learn valuable things that will help me in my business. I wish to find people to trust with my money so that I can make those transactions, buy things from them that are valuable to me that will, again, help me further my business. For me, it's all about retiring my wife and going to live on an island somewhere, maybe. Not Omaha, which is currently where I'm from anyway. So that's what it's all about for me. Put yourself in your pre-client's shoes. Put yourself in your audience's shoes and think about what they want. Think about what value it is. Value first, my friends. Value first. All right, my friends, that is about it for today. I'm going to be back tomorrow with another topic. I don't know. I don't remember what I set it for, but it's going to be good. And I will see you then. Thanks for stopping by today. Nether Noose, Ed, great to see you guys. And I will be back tomorrow with more bot chatter because that's, what I do. Until then, please do stay safe out there, okay? And I'll see you in a bot.